The Control album came out June 9th, 2017. I had just graduated high school about a week before then, and I was 17 years old. You know, the album was a bop or whatever, but I would say the album didn't really start like clicking for me until around 19, and I think that's because this album is definitely made for women in their 20s. There's this quote from The Guardian, and I think it really sums up what this album is about. Control has finally been released, and it's turned out to be one of the most inventive and intimate records of the year, an astonishing collection of styles and stories that feels like a hazy conversation over a long night with a close friend. Its often brutal honesty about sex and relationships and self-esteem for women in their 20s has found a dedicated and devoted fan base. Guys, it's Ynessa. If you guys couldn't tell by the intro and the title of this video, this is going to be about SZA's Control album. I'm doing a whole series. This video series is going to be a little bit about like her process in making it. Like, of course, like, you know, some interview pieces just for like anyone who's obsessed with SZA like me. This is definitely going to be kind of a personal series. I'm going to break down what each of these songs means to me personally in my life. It's like, you know, you guys commented and told me what the songs mean to you. I just really love the album, so I was like, I'm gonna make a video series about it because it's literally amazing. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoy. So this specific video is going to be just a little background on SZA and the Control album specifically, and then a breakdown of the Supermodel lyrics and what they mean to me. SZA, her full name is Solana Amani Rowe. I just want to say that my middle name is Amani, so I don't know how she pronounces it, but that's how I pronounce my middle name. So yeah, we have the same middle name. I just feel such a connection there. She was born on November 8th, 1990, so she is 29 years old, and she's also Scorpio. I don't know if you guys believe in like zodiac horoscopes, stuff like that, but I do like Scorpio, so that's pretty dope. Something I found really interesting from doing like my research is that she really didn't listen to music or had any like musical aspirations, at least according to what I read online. SZA, if you end up seeing this one day, let me know. She went to 3 different colleges, and she was studying marine biology at her last one until she dropped out her last semester, and then she started doing a bunch of odd jobs, just, you know, to make ends meet. So that's just a little background on SZA. I'm not really gonna get into that because I really want to focus on the Control album. So through SZA's creation of the Control album, she would look up like the top hits from the 1940s and 1980s and pulled inspiration. She said that she just really wanted to keep adding more and just like figuring out like what she could add to make it better. But her record producer, Rick Rubin, he really helped her creative process. He would tell her the more you take away from any piece, the more room you create for everything else to be beautiful and grow. She said she never felt that before, like the editing urge, like to take things out, and she said that once you stripped everything down, you're forced to say something. The Control album was actually supposed to be an EP under the name A. I don't know if it's like A star. It has like a little asterisk next to it, but I'm gonna say A. I could be wrong. But that was like repurposed eventually to become Control. We don't want to deal with anything that's uncomfortable. We don't want to deal with any of our ugliness. I'm just getting ugly. All my dirty laundry is on the line. There's a song where I talk about sleeping with my ex-boyfriend's friend because he purposely left me on Valentine's Day, which will be the first time he hears about it. And I have a whole track dedicated to vaginas. It's called Doves in the Wind. So obviously those 2 were songs that were supposed to be on Control, and they were. So again, this EP was eventually repurposed to become the Control album. Another aspect of the album that I think is really beautiful is the fact that her mother does spoken word interludes in between her songs. Makes you wonder like, what does her mom think about the album and stuff like that, because her mom is a Christian, and this is what SZA had to say about it. I know she probably thinks I'm very exposed. My mother is probably mortified actually about my album, but she loves me so much. It's a personal opinion, and we already kind of had this talk when Beyonce dropped her album. My mom was like, I feel naked listening to her album. I just feel like there's some things you shouldn't say to the world. What she says about Beyonce's album, which I'm sure you guys know at the time, she was referring to the Lemonade album. Her mom says like, I feel naked when I listen to the album. I think that's the feeling that Control gives me. It's nice feeling seen, and it kind of goes back to what SZA said, that like Americans aren't really comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. I don't think really anyone is. So I think your mom made points. You do feel naked when you listen to some albums. The album was supposed to be released in late 2015, but it got delayed because of SZA's experience of a kind of blinding paralysis brought on by anxiety. She worked and reworked the album. She said she had like 100, 250 songs on the hard drive. And then eventually they literally just cut her off. One day she came to the studio and that it was out of the safe that they had kept it in. She said that the Control that was put out wasn't what would have probably been put out had she had more time to work on it. You wonder, like, in a world like where SZA had more time, what would have been put out? But she also kind of said that like had they not like been like, hey, we're done, it might have never came out. So that's just a little bit about the album. I'm not like a reporter or anything. You can find so many great articles from some amazing journalists who have gotten to interview the queen herself. If you want to know more about them, I'm gonna link them in the description box if you guys are interested in learning more. But those are just like some interesting tidbits I wanted to share at the beginning of the series. I just felt really connected to. I thought they were like really fun and cool to learn about for an album that I've like loved for like hardcore love for like a year now. I've always loved it from the beginning, but like it definitely does ring different when you're in that age that she's talking about. Before I get into her Supermodel, the lyrics and like what that means to me, I just want to go back to the crux of the album and what she said in Vogue. Control is a product of the realization that I have none. I definitely felt that. Like I said, this album started ringing true to me when I turned 19. My life was just a mess. It was just a mess. That's all I can say. I had no idea what I was doing. I felt super alone, which I think is a big part of your 20s, which sucks. You just have like that desire for intimacy. And yeah, so that's how I feel about Control. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video series, and I hope if you're in your 20s that you really like listen to this album and you hear it and you feel seen, because I feel seen.
I'm not keeping your shit. Heard you got some new homies,
got some new hobbies, even a new hoe too. Now I'm gonna be talking about Supermodel. That is the first song on the Control album. I think it's a super beautiful song. There's so many interesting things I found out about it, but I definitely, again, wanted to like just break down these lyrics and like what they mean to me, how I took them in, how I like reflected on them. I definitely think that's like one of the beautiful things about music, is that you can hear the same song and like everyone's having the same like theme, so they're all thinking about like different things in their life and they like take the lyrics differently. Supermodel was her favorite song on the album because it was the easiest to record. It started off with her friend. He just learned to play the guitar like maybe 2 or 3 days ago, and he just started playing those 3 chords that you'll hear in the beginning. I'll include a little sound clip here. And he just played those chords, and she said it was just beautiful and sad. That's how she described those chords. And she went to the studio, she made like 2 or 3 songs, and then she asked her friend like, hey, could you like play those chords on a loop again? And she just like completely freestyled it. She just has to be really bored just to write stuff down on paper, but Supermodel just like flowed out of her. And she said, I couldn't even imagine what the song would sound like. I just wanted to sing. I wanted to think. I love that SZA describes this song to be a real piece of her subconscious. It definitely just feels like a flow of consciousness. Like she's just thinking, she's like having a conversation, which I think that's like the beautiful thing about the album, is that it feels like something you kind of just like tell your friends, you know? Like, hey, this happened, it's fucked up. She also said that she was really mad when she recorded it, and she said she wanted the song to be out like the next day because she was just really mad at her ex-boyfriend and she just wanted him to hear the song. She's like, I didn't want to hurt his feelings, but this is how I felt. And I think that's great. I think we all don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but we should all honor our own emotions. An interesting quote I found in her Rolling Stones interview from 2017, she talks about Drew Barrymore, which is another song on the album that I'm eventually going to cover. But she really likes Drew Barrymore, and when they asked like what like intrigued her, something that SZA said was, "We expect Michelle Pfeiffer, we expect Julianne Moore, but Drew just came through, and she was gorgeous and radiant and funny and honest." This was like more in terms of the Drew Barrymore song, but I think it does kind of relate to the theme of Supermodel and of course the overall theme of the Control album. SZA said that she always felt that Supermodel was just a different song. She said it was taken, her vocals were done in one take. They had kept adding to it, but it felt that like the more they added, like it was either like keep it how it is or throw it out, because she just felt like that song was like it. Kendrick Lamar actually told her like, yeah, let's make the album cut, like put it at the end. But she said she just knew that it was like, it felt special, and like that it really just like when she was freestyling it just came from the heart. She said she didn't even know like what was gonna come out, but that's what did. So Supermodel starts off with, "That is my greatest fear, that if I lost control or did not have control, things would just, you know, I would be fatal." Definitely whenever I hear this, I feel that, I just feel that. Like, because that definitely, like when you're in your 20s and just like things in my life, I've always been very controlling. I want things like, I got a tight ass grip on things. It's not because like I'm a crazy bitch, but I low-key am sometimes, which is okay. But it's because like it does feel like things are gonna be like fatal, like it's gonna be the end of the world if I don't figure stuff out. And that's why I love this album, is that like it's just a realization that you have none and you're just doing your fucking best out here. First verse is, "I'm writing this letter to let you know that I'm really leaving, and no, I'm not keeping your shit. Heard you got some new homies, got some new hobbies, even a new hoe too. Maybe she can come help you, maybe she can come lay do after we're done. What's done is done. I don't want nothing else to do with it." That is one of the lines that just sticks with me. After we're done, what's done is done. I don't want nothing else to do with it. I love that line. It's one of my favorite lines in Supermodel. For me, I just hear that lyric and it's like, I think there are definitely times in your life that like you just do some like fuck shit but you're just like, after we're like, literally like exactly what he said, like after we're done, like it's done. Like I don't feel any type of way about it. I don't want anything else to fucking do with this shit. This is bogus as fuck. I'm fucking over it. We're done. I definitely feel like I've experienced that with like friendships, with situationships, with relationships, with just people in life, just like any type of relationship in life. I don't even have to like separate them into all the different categories. Just like any relationship in life, there's definitely that feeling of like, when it's done, I am done. Let me tell you a secret. I've been secretly banging your homeboy. Why are you in Vegas all up on Valentine's Day? Said in her GQ interview that the song's about this boy, particular boy that she really liked. She said she mostly liked his validation, the validation that he gave her, but that he was low-key trash to her. He left her on Valentine's Day and then she secretly banged his homeboy as stated. She said that like when she like released this is like gonna be the first time he had ever heard about it. So she's a brave bitch. And again, that's just one of the things I love about the album, is the honesty. I can't relate to anything like that, but I just thought I would share that. Why am I so easy to forget like that? It can't be that easy for you to get like that. Oh no, she didn't. Oh yes, I did. Oh no, she didn't. I'll do it again. Let's unpack that, okay? I feel that so hard. I think it hurts, definitely, when it just feels like people just move on from you. And you're just like, damn, I thought like that I meant something to you. And this like doesn't even have to do with like a guy. This can be applied to some men, I'll say that, but I definitely can apply it to like friendships I've had in the past. I think it is like a hurtful feeling, and I feel like everybody has had that feeling of like, okay, So it's just like that. Following lines, oh no she didn't, oh yes I did, oh no she didn't, I'll do it again, I think kind of just like ties into this whole thing. I don't know, this is like very personal to how I'm interpreting it. After like somebody just makes you feel like you're just like worthless basically, you always, okay, maybe not you, but me, I tend to do some crazy shit in my past. Okay, I've learned, but I have done some like out of pocket shit, but I would never take it back. People are gonna be like, damn bitch, you did that? And just like, yep, I did, and I'll do it again. Okay, because like you just learn, and at the end of the day, it's okay. Hey guys, so it's 1 a.m. and I'm editing this video, and I just like got to the part that you guys just saw. You learned and it's okay. I think that is true, but also definitely take accountability for your actions. Say sorry when you need to. So I just wanted to clarify that because I don't want it to seem like I'm just like, who gives a fuck, like, you know. But like I think the main point I was trying to get across was like, it is what it is. After you do something, it's just like, it is what it is. You have to kind of keep on, like, life must continue going on. But yeah, I just wanted to seem like, who cares? Like, don't take accountability for your actions. Take accountability for your actions, but don't beat yourself up about it, because that is helping nobody, for real. So the chorus goes, leave me alone for prettier women. You know I need too much attention for shit like that. You know you wrong for shit like that. I definitely feel like this is kind of like where the self-esteem part that people are talking about this album ties in. I don't know, I just felt that. I felt that. Okay? That's all I gotta say. I felt that. I could be your supermodel if you believe. If you see it in me, see it in me. See it in me. I don't see myself. I think everybody can kind of relate to that sometimes. Don't want to get too emo about it. Like what SZA's mom said about the Beyonce album, that's like this like lyric makes you feel naked, because I feel like even like I'm a very confident person, but I think it's really easy to get like tied up into like what somebody else thinks of you. And even though I'm confident, I definitely have related to that feeling before. This is like a theme throughout the album, like again, like about self-esteem, and validation, outside validation, and just like wondering like, am I enough? Why I can't stay alone by myself. Wish I was comfortable just with myself, but I need you, but I need you, but I need you. I don't think any woman needs a man's validation, but I do think that it is easy to get caught up in replacing your love for yourself with confirmation of how amazing you are from somebody else. It doesn't even have to do with like guys, like it can come from like the validation you get from your parents, the validation you get from your best friend, but at the end of the day, you just need to like come into your own person and realize like all that validation does not matter. Ooh, just get a load of them. They got chemistry. All they could say, we like brother and sister, look so good together, but they fucking for real. And they was right. That's why I stayed with you. The dick was too good. It made me feel good for temporary love. You was a temporary lover. Oh, they're like so close. They're such good friends. And yeah, just like this weird in-between place. Like we're friends, but we're like fucking, and like it's a lot, child. That's what I'm gonna say about that line. It's a lot. That is Supermodel by SZA. Those are my own personal feelings about the song and like how I have read every line. Overall, the way that the song, what this song means to me is, it just really does, like, I'm glad it was the first song on the album. It sets the theme of like vulnerability. It sets like the open diary, the exposed diary entry. It's very conversational. Just like all the things that you hear about control, it's like within this song. And I think it kind of describes like the feeling that your self-esteem gets when you kind of get involved in one of those halfway relationships, I guess. So that's what I have to say about Supermodel, and I'm super excited to continue this series. I feel like there's so much I want to say about the Control album and about this song in particular, about literally every song. This happens to be one of my favorite songs on the album. So there's just so much I want to say, so I hope I got through all of it. This album does mean a lot to me. as like a woman in her 20s and a black woman in her 20s. So yeah, I'm super excited to continue this series, and I will see you guys next week.